Welcome to Invictus Motors. My name is Basheer Zaheer. Today we've got a Land Rover Defender 110 station wagon, and this is the XS model, which is basically the most premium from a spec point of view that you can get when it comes to the Defender station wagons. And I'll tell you a little bit about why you should perhaps buy this, and just in general have a little bit of a chat and a conversation about the kind of people that buy Defender, the character, the driving, and everything that is really cool and classic about owning one of these. But before we can delve into this Defender any further, don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and I just want to say thank you for watching this video, because we earn money through YouTube by you watching this video, which we donate to a UK registered charity, and currently they're in the process of building a school in Afghanistan. This is where I'm from. This is where we've had 40 years of war, so thank you, for helping us, donating to that great cause. So yeah, that's all I can say. And if you want to donate any more, you can find the link in the description. Now about this Defender, there's a lot to cover on this 2012 plate Defender 110 station wagon, but from an owner's point of view, because you're probably watching this video because you want to buy it, this has one owner from new. It mainly has a Land Rover service history, aside from the last service that was done at a specialist where they carried out a health inspection and practically did everything that came from an advisory point of view from that health inspection. So just over £1,000 was spent, including a brand new clutch. This is finished in this really gorgeous Orkney grey colour, and you've got these phenomenal tyres which are perfect. These are the, I forgot the name there, but these are the proper off-road tyres that would do a phenomenal job anytime you want to be using it on a farm or perhaps on any treacherous kind of conditions. Overall, the XS has a few slight cosmetic changes in terms of the grille's layout. If this was an XS, I think the standard station wagons has a couple of lines here, so there's a bit of a grille's change layout, but also the XS has leather used in the interior, heated seats, and a couple of other things like air conditioning. What is the condition like of this station wagon? Why don't we actually just show you a little bit of the outside. You've obviously have the side steps, which again, they're not rusted or about to fall off the Defender. All the mats and everything on the outside, on the exterior, is really clean, immaculately well maintained. This has the 7 seats layout, so you've obviously got the front driver, front passenger, and then in the second row you've got 3 seats there, and then the remaining 2 seats are right here at the back. And obviously you've got that dog guard rail in case you've got dogs that you don't want coming onto that front section. Onto the back of it, this is where your full-size spare wheel is. The exhaust looks practically brand new. I mean, this is less than 10 years old. Normally the Defenders predominantly available on the market are a lot more older, or if they're newer from a 2010, 2012 point of view, they're a lot more expensive. You're looking at in the very late £30,000 or in the very early £40,000. On the inside, you've got this beautiful leather combined with a fabric interior, as well as the wide diamond stitching. And then if you were to come on to the next door, and what I love is how well these doors open up and how well they hold, which makes it really nice to be able to just walk into this space, describe it. So as soon as you basically approach your Defender, this is very characterful, a boxy kind of a shape, which is what you normally find in the Mercedes G-Wagons. And let's just get into it to illustrate. You sit up rather highly, you've got this really big massive steering wheel in front of you, and it's all very analogish with buttons, and obviously you've got your heated seats button and your climate control button as well, including your radios, and you've got this space as a handrest, and it opens and closes for all your tools and bits. This is where the rest of the sort of toolkit is actually underneath the seat, as well as the spare battery. The seats are also in really great, fantastic condition. You've got rubber matting, which have been kept in good condition, alongside the fact that you've got carpets underneath. And now if we go over to the back, which I have already shown you slightly. Again, you've got the rubber mat here at the back. The seats look beautiful. You've got the skylights here as well to give you plenty of light coming in onto the inside. Now, why don't we talk about the engine on this? So let me actually open up. Let me just open up this. Now, this is where you've got the 2.2 litre Ford Durotorque engine. Because of the emission Vs that were introduced in 2012, Land Rover had to revise the previously 2.4 litre engine now into the 2.2 litre engine, which is quite more efficient, and the torque as well as the bhp remains the same. So the bhp is at 122 miles an hour, the torque is at 360 newton meters of torque, and the top speed is 90 miles per hour. And if you're wondering what the 0 to 60 miles per hour times are, this will do it in approximately 14.5 seconds. These cars are really about the character, what they're like to drive from a practicality point of view on a farm, and if you're going to be having a trailer or a horse cabin or whatever it may be that you need to pull, this engine does a phenomenal job. Obviously, the later engine is not only more efficient and maintains the same bhp and torque, but it's also more reliable, and it's more predominantly used throughout the Ford lineup of cars, used in the Ford Pumas more often. This is where the engine comes from. Now, what we're going to do next is actually drive this vehicle and tell you a little bit more about what it's like to drive. These Defenders are very characterful from the minute you get into it. Starts first time, and everything is exactly where it needs to be. It goes into gears really well. This is another beauty of the slightly newer Defenders. Obviously, anything I think from, I would say, 2008 onwards, they do have slightly softer clutches, and the gear ratios isn't as long as the older Defenders. Lights are all on, and it drives superbly well. From the get-go, we're on this off-road track that leads to our dealerships, and it's actually a very nice way of testing the suspension, the control arms, and just the rest of the car, just to see what it sounds like on a rough road like this. And what I've always liked about the Defenders is just they're a very engaging car, and they require a lot of human input when it comes to driving one. In a very intimate cabin space. As a car, from a height point of view, they're very tall, but not wide at all. Pulls out really well from the junction there. The 2.2 litre Ford Durotorque engine is commonly used in the Ford Pumas, and as mentioned, because of the emission Vs introduced in 2012, Land Rover started putting these into their vehicle. The torque, the bhp, all remains the same as the 2.4 litre. As a matter of fact, the 2.2 litre are more, I would say, reliable. Again, bhp wise, this produces 122 brake horsepower. Very torquey cars, phenomenal pulling power, 360 newton meters of torque. The 0 to 60 is about 4.5 seconds. You know, it's not a sports car. Top speed, you're looking at 90 miles an hour being the top speed. And so far, I'm having a great time driving this. The turning circle isn't the best turning circles, but this is in no way, form or shape a modern vehicle. Very agriculture, and pretty much most of the car is nut and bolt construction, so you can take it off and put it back together quite easily. I think I've left one of the doors open, so let me just make sure that they're all closed properly. Just my imagination, all the doors are indeed shut and closed. And let's hit that road one more time. And I think this aspect of the video is to strictly talk about values of these. I mean, they've discontinued these in 2018, and we all thought that we wouldn't see the Defender brand anymore, and obviously they have a revised, a very different Defender, but these have shot in value through the roof. I mean, brand new, something like this would have cost you about 30 to 35,000 pounds back in 2012. And now something like this, you know, if it went through a trade classic auction, or it was put through, you know, even a standard trade auction, not available to the retail market, I mean, these fetch in excess of 30,000 pounds. This is also done very low miles, so 57,586 miles. It's a one owner from new. That obviously helps towards the value of these. And there is so many generation of these Land Rovers. Obviously, you had the Series 1, Series 2, and the Defender range began in the 90s, which is one of the reasons, you know, it's had a very long production run, which is one of the reasons they have such a great following, because there's always been a demand for these cars, and people that do buy them tend to keep them for a very, very long time, and rarely you'll find these change hand frequently. And most of these Defenders that we've had in stock, I mean, I probably sell one or two a month. You know, most of these have no more than 3 or 4 owners. I'm really enjoying this. One of my colleagues was also mentioning, whilst he was looking at the condition of this, that this is by far the cleanest and the tidiest Defender 110 that we've had in our stock. So thank you for sticking around throughout this test drive, and it's a nice way to illustrate that the car is functioning and driving, and to show visually what a phenomenal condition it is in. And there you have a phenomenal enthusiast community of people out there that like these cars and want to drive, own, and you know, be part of that community of people that have Defenders. Now, let me grab the paperwork and tell you a little bit more about the owner's history and the service history. The last invoice of works, which was done on the 11th of October 2022. This is where they've done an MOT, a health check, and all the works that came out of it were things like check noise on clutch and replace front brake pads, clean rust and spray all of the underside of the car, and carry out a service. And in terms of parts, obviously we've got the front pads, the oil filter, the air filter, and the engine oil. All of this works came in at a trade price of just over £1,000. Service history wise review, there is 2 pieces of papers which show all the main dealer service history. Obviously this is some of the service history directly pulled from the main dealer systems at 2018, at 2019, and the rest of the main dealer service history is dating back to 2016, 17, 17, 17 again, 17, 17, 18 and 19. And it covers all the mileage range from 31,000 miles to 42,000 miles, including the fact that the last time it went in for service was just now at 57,000 miles. Additionally, it's a HPI clear vehicle, so this is the HPI, and from a V5 point of view, this has one owner from you. So Mr. Joseph Turnbull from Vantage, Oxford, has owned this vehicle absolutely from brand new. Now, so, once again, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for sticking around throughout this test drive, and once again for helping towards this great cause.